Hi. So I don't normally stream on Thursday, but I'm mixing it up partly for two reasons. One, I want to establish another stream day. Two, I want to finish Pikmin, because we only have like a little bit of the game left. Like, maybe an hour? I may just be greatly overestimating my abilities, though. The song is loud. This is from Rhythm Heaven, I think. I don't know where my model's gonna be looking when I tap over, so this might be a little dangerous. Hi. Oh shoot, I think my Xbox is still hooked up, because I was playing Fortnite Festival yesterday, so one moment. It'd help if I unmuted. God, I'm disorganized today. You can tell I don't normally stream on Thursday, because I am very all over the place, clearly. I hope everyone's doing okay. Truth be told, I am still frantically trying to set up because I, again, normally do not stream on this day. So I'm doing my best to very quickly... Shoot, I never even shared the stream links anywhere. Ooh, I'm really disorganized today, oh my gosh. At some point, I would like to make this my secondary streaming day. Been kind of weighing options, and I do feel like Thursday is the best overall day to avoid conflicting with other, like, friend hangouts and stuff like that. So I see how this goes. Again, the goal today is to finish Pikmin 1. And then, depending on how long it takes, we might mess around with some other stuff. I have no clue what we'll do. But we'll figure it out. Again, I started a little bit late anyway, so I should probably jump in sooner rather than later. I don't know why I feel so winded today. It might just be my allergies are completely acting up at the moment. But yeah, I feel a little winded today, not gonna lie. Oh, this is muted. I don't know why that was muted. Maybe so I could just hear myself think. Oh, I didn't finish working on layout stuff. Oops. I'm just gonna hide that for now. I don't know where to put that. So yeah, I'm gonna be real. I've been adjusting stuff with my layout for a few reasons. For example, you might notice a slight reduction in the size of the socials box. The text I think is the same size, it's just the box itself is smaller, so I could fit like some other layout stuff in. You know, the little donation goal can be a little bit larger, but again, the actual alerts are like... I don't know where to put these. Like, I don't know where to put the actual alerts, because it has the link, but it also causes a little bubble to float up whenever someone donates, so I don't know where to put that. We'll figure it out, but again, clearly I was not prepared entirely to stream. Stuff I meant to do and spaced out on, because I am very good at this. Hi Chibi, welcome on in. I am frantically trying to get set up here, because I lost track of time. Okie dokie, I think we're ready to go. So last stream, we started Pikmin 3. No, Pikmin 1. Why did you say Pikmin 3? We got through the first 3 areas pretty smoothly. A lot smoother than I thought, at least. and made it to the start of the distant spring, which is where we'll be kicking off today. Truth be told, I'm gonna do a speedrun trick probably on this day. If not, it'll be on the next day. But yeah, I think we can actually finish the distant spring in one more day. I think that's perfectly feasible. So we'll see how this goes. I left a couple of walls up, I'm pretty sure. So we'll be taking yellow Pikmin. And I also want mostly blue Pikmin. At some point, I might swap to red Pikmin in case I need to fight any enemies. Typically, you really don't need to fight a whole lot here, which to me is a relief. I don't like fighting in Pikmin 1. It's a lot harder than the other games. So I would like to avoid fighting if I could. I'm gonna aggro this ball bear, just to move it out of the way. One thing I learned recently is if you off-screen a ball bear, they won't go back to sleep right away, which can be very frustrating. Okay, the UV lamp is there. There should be more bomb rocks behind that ball bear there. The other problem is there should still be a swooping snitch bug that we briefly saw at the end of the previous stream that we were not able to fight because we were running out of time. And I just kind of called the day there because I was panicking. Oh, there's the swooping snitch bug. So, unfortunately right nearby a Wollywog. So, slight fear. But I will want to take this guy out now, so we don't have to worry about him later. Oh, he's being a little feisty. Alright, I also don't know what I'm doing with my voice today. I think my voice is kind of shot, because of like allergies and stuff. So if I sound kind of froggy today, I do apologize a little bit. But yeah, that's just my breathing is just normally kind of effed up, to be honest. So, with our... well, we'll just leave the yellow Pikmin for now, I think. I think we are going to try to get the thingy over here, actually. We might not actually get the glitch today. Get to the glitch today. That might be next day. But either way, we'll be doing that at some point. So, I'm gonna... try to be a little sneaky here. Actually, what I should do first is aggro you. So I'm gonna aggro you, pull you over to like this spot, hopefully. And then that should be enough. So they'll leave us alone. I'm kind of winging it, by the way. As much as I do enjoy Pikmin 1, I'm not like an expert on it, so like this isn't like ideal in terms of speedrunning or anything. Definitely not that level. Something else I forgot to mention is that the sheer wigs actually will take damage in water, so hypothetically you can just lure them into water here and they'll start gradually losing health. Which is very nice, to be honest. You don't want to have to fight them head on. In general, there are fewer of them than in the Forest Naval, I find, so it's actually easier to deal with them. Because it's like, they're more like spread out, so it's generally... oh, the Pikmin that are carrying our spoils seem to be milling about in one place with their loads. It appears that their path back to the onion is blocked, and faced with what seems to be an insurmountable obstacle. They have lost their focus. This is unacceptable. I will have to determine what is blocking their way and do what I can to resolve the problem. Alright. Neat. I forgot that we hadn't seen that text yet. Also, I think this version fixed a glitch where in the original version, and I think Wii too, every time you hit you carried something back to the onion with 100 Pikmin on the field, you'd get the same message about how there could only be 100 Pikmin on the field at one time. I think this version finally fixed that. So again, the Switch version has so many, like, small improvements over the previous versions. It actually makes a huge difference in my opinion. Like, maybe not a huge difference, but it definitely makes a difference, I'd say. I'm also gonna start luring these Wollywogs a little bit. just because we will be trying to go for that wall over there, probably. Again, you can avoid a lot of combat in Pikmin 1 if you just kind of steer enemies to the right spot. It's really nice, actually, as someone who, again, doesn't really like dealing with some of the tougher enemies. Again, the combat's way more manageable in later Pikmin games, just because you have more options. Oh shoot, well that sucks. That is definitely what I call a problem. So we gotta start guiding you over again. Yeah, they will eventually return to like their default position, which sucks. I gotta hope that's, you know, we can get in out fast enough, basically. Yeah, they de-aggroed, so we should be good. There we go. I also deliberately, like... Oh wait, one sec. I found the gluon tribe. Using the quark-binding metaphysical properties of gluons, this device, well, it's very scientific, and I don't fully understand it myself, but it's very expensive. Just like me for real. Like, oh, I'm sure this is cool, I don't know how to explain it though. But yeah, I deliberately aggroed the ball bears because typically they will move and then sit down slightly further in where they were originally sitting, which the hope is they'll be far in enough that they won't bump into the ball bear while carrying the part. I'm not really feeling this, to be honest. So I'm gonna try. This might backfire horrifically. Damn. Okay. Good start. Yeah, you should use red Pikmin for that, in theory. So, again, we're gonna call them all again on that. So, new plan. This is the fun thing about this, in my opinion, and again, a lot of people don't find this fun, I'm gonna be real. But the thing I enjoy about this sort of thing is having to, like, route things out on the fly. Like, maybe I'm weird for this, but I actually really enjoy games that kind of force me to adapt. And, like, try to figure out different solutions to problems. I actually find that really fun. So in this case, having to, like, on the fly, figure out the best routes for everything, it's actually kind of enjoyable in my opinion. Even though, you know, in theory it probably shouldn't be as enjoyable, especially when, you know, in this case I lose progress, but I don't really care most of the time, especially like off-stream. I'll like just bang my head against the wall on a game for like a challenge run. So for example, Fire Emblem springs to mind. I often do deathless runs of Fire Emblem too, and have a really good time with it. Hey, speaking of which, literally during the last stream, Sacred Stone's got added to NSO, so hey, expect to see that show up for a Fox Girls favorites in the future, because that is one of my favorite Fire Emblems. So yeah, I did end up fighting those two ball bears. That should be the only two we need to fight, and even then need is a strong term. I think I could have gotten them in a better spot. In theory, I just didn't quite set them up properly, because I have seen runs where they're able to actually get past the ball bears without fighting any, basically. Yeah, I think I just screwed up personally, so that's on me. And yeah, Pikmin 2 is weird, because I think it counts for the Fox Girls favorites. I just don't think I have it in me to do it right away. So we'll probably take a break with Pikmin, and then come back to it a little bit later. Oh yeah, ball bears don't regen in this game, which is good, because they will regen in Pikmin 2. They will literally come back to life if you leave them long enough, and it sucks. I hate it. Genuinely one of the most stressful parts of Pikmin 2 is having to deal with ball bears. They also don't sleep in Pikmin 2. They will be roaming around forever, basically. Which is awful and terrifying. Like, genuinely, ball bears are some of the hardest enemies to to fight, in my opinion. I don't know if they are actually, like, the toughest enemy, period. Like, I'm sure there are tougher enemies. But the ones I like fighting the least are definitely the ball bear. Okay, I don't like hills for that very reason. Again, I think they actually make it harder for Pikmin to trip also, starting with Pikmin 2. I don't remember them tripping very much, which is also a relief, because oh my god, Pikmin tripping in this game is one of the most frustrating things. Because, like, you'll just be having a really great run, and then Pikmin will trip and you just lose a ton of Pikmin. Because, like, they'll trip and fall and the enemy will eat them. This is dangerous. That was dumb. I shouldn't have tried that. We saw this dialogue already, and for the glue-on drive itself, so we'll skip past that. And get to work on the bridge. Again, for this series, it is kind of funny, because even though I'm streaming the game, I definitely feel like I go into a bit of a Let's Player mode with these games, just because I know a decent chunk about them. Like, I have a decent amount of knowledge of these games, so I can definitely kind of go into a Let's Player mentality with some of these. There were definitely games on the flip side where I can definitely info dump even more than this. If we ever get to, like, 1,000 Year Door, which I would hope I can get to that at some point, I will definitely info dump about that game quite a bit. I don't know how I'll tackle 1,000 Year Door, because on one hand it's one of my favorite games, on the other hand it's a long-ass RPG, so really on the fence with how to tackle that game. Yes, please leave the blue Pikmin alone, thank you. And Swooping Snitch Bug is rapidly approaching our location. Fighting it with 10 yellows is not my idea of a good time, unfortunately, so I don't know how to approach this. I'm just lucking out here a lot. They're done with the bridge, so I'm probably gonna... Oh shit. It's not great. There we go. I'm gonna quickly try to get the blues over as fast as possible. Again, the bridge glitch is fixed, so I don't have to worry as much about, like, them dying from bridges, thankfully. Like, sometimes if a Pikmin is under a bridge while it's being built, they will get crushed by it. So that is something very... Why no Pikmin latch on there? But yeah, that's one very unfortunate thing about Pikmin 1, is just, especially on GameCube, is just how glitchy it is. And Wii, because they didn't really fix any of the problems for the Wii version. I don't know why I'm not getting much distance on throws. There we go, finally. So he will be out of our way for now. Thank God, because I don't like dealing with those enemies. So next order of business, trying to build this bridge. And then we'll work on the... Is that the Zirconium Rotor? I think that's what that's called. The Zirconium Rotor is really annoying to get without fighting enemies, because there are two, like, Wally Hops guarding. I think I said the wrong name, so yeah. I'm just so used to the old name, even though, again, I think they're completely justified in changing that name, because it's not a great word, to be honest. Might as well carry back the enemies, because we're here. We got time. And the ball bears actually give a decent amount of Pikmin, I think, from what I recall, so might as well. There are more bombs, but I kinda need more Pikmin for those. Or at least I'd want more Pikmin for those. We can easily get a couple more parts today, though, so we have, like, 7 more parts. On paper, it feels like it's slow going, and I mean, it kinda is, I'm gonna be real. But today is kind of like a setup day. Like, we're not getting a lot inherently, but we're setting up a lot of parts for next time. So yeah. The time differential, like, we'll make up the time tomorrow, where we hopefully, without too much resistance, we'll be able to get, like, every other part we're missing. At least that's the hope. You can also press A when you're a part to actually see the dialogue that comes up when you bring it into the ship. I haven't really been showing it since we see the dialogue anyway. Glue-on Tribe. I have no idea how this works, but it means the dolphin will again lift off with its characteristic roar. Alright, 23 out of 30, so... Yeah, only 6 more. And again, there's one right here that's very easy to get. This is our next stop over here. I think it'll be easier to cut through this section of the map. Instead of going around. Shit. That sucks. Okay. That presents a problem. Okay, we're fine. We're good. Crisis averted. But again, there's a thing where sometimes ball bears will not go back to sleep unless you, like, de-aggro them, and then watch them sit back down. So, like, we might have to keep an eye on it, and just wait for it to go back. There's also, like, a bunch of shearwigs over here. My hope is to get rid of them without too much resistance. There should be, like, 5 or 6, I think. There's quite a few. And again, the problem is I don't know where the one is. I see 2 of them. Oh, there it is. The actual individual spawns can vary, and even just like reloading can change their spawn position slightly in a way that's like very annoying in my opinion. Like sometimes them just being slightly more clumped together can make a day a lot more aggravating, and it's just that simple. There should be a couple more over here. So that's why I'm kind of like inching into this spot. I'm gonna go for this one because he's like facing a certain way. Again, if they actually eat a Pikmin, they will have iframes until they finish eating. We barely avoided a big problem there. That was a little too close for comfort, not gonna lie. Alright, I'm gonna be efficient actually. We're gonna use bombs to get through a couple of the walls here. The glitch is to get the worst part in this area, which is up on a ledge, but we actually can skip a puzzle, basically. So that will be our goal for next time, because we are definitely not getting to it today. We only have like a little bit left of this day. I don't even know if we're getting the zirconium rotor today, just because we're kind of running out of time. Oh shit, yeah, I heard the sound, I'm like, wait a minute, we don't actually have to worry about that. What the hell is this positioning, actually? So this one we want to lure as far off to, like, this lower section as we can. Like, that's not great. Can we get you a little bit lower, please? Okay. And you, we want to guide a little bit farther up. That should be good, but just be on the safe side. You can actually skip part, like you can actually go up there too to get to the next area. Not that that's needed for anything, but I'm gonna keep a close eye on these. I don't trust the Wally Hops. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm alternating the names because I'm like so used to just saying the other name. I mean, we're on, what, second try for this day? That's not too bad. Again, I thought this day would give me trouble, so I'm not, like, shocked by having a slight catastrophe on day 1, or attempt 1 of this. Alright, so there's that taken care of, so we can now get this. It's my zirconium rotor. This is made from rust-proof zirconium, which is particularly suited to making spaceship parts. I had to pay a lot of extra to have this installed, and I suspect the mechanic overcharged me. I don't know what route they're gonna take, so this could also be awkward. Please go that way, thank you. Okay, the problem is, oh, shoot. Again, sometimes Pikmin just feel like they have a death wish. Like, they will just take the dumbest route possible, and it's like, why you like this? Why you, like, trying to cheat death like this instead of just taking the sensible route? In that case, we might have a problem with the pilot seat, actually. Over here. Alas, my pilot seat. Once I get this installed, my cockpit will finally be back in order. Soon my ship will be starting to look more and more like the Dolphin of old. Ah, the memories. So we might have an issue, because we did aggro Ball Bear by accident. We are missing a Pikmin, by the way. Oh wait, it's just there. Okay. They take this one around the other way, so we should be okay. They're not gonna pass by that other Wally Hop. But the problem is they might go past the ball bear area. And if they go through the ball bear area, they might be in trouble. Zirconium murder made of rust-proof zirconium is as shiny as new despite being left out in this planet's harsh elements. Alright, we are on pace from what I wanted to do today. Because there is one more very easy part to get. Okay, where the hell are they going, actually? I don't usually see them go this way. I think it's because we took out the wall over there. I mean, arguably, that's a safer route, so I'm actually okay with that, but... sometimes Pikmin stress me out with their, like, lack of survival instincts. Alright. Risk time. Yeah, no, I think its position is so bad now that we won't be able to get that, so we'll get that tomorrow. With our remaining time... I'm doing risk assessment, basically. Oh, hi, I'm in the top right now. Oddly enough, the Pikmin with Olimar despawn, but you can still see Olimar. Pilot seat. Picturing this in the cockpit, images of me lifting off into space begin to fill my taxed brain. Fills me with inspiration once again. So yeah, my goal was like 3 to 4, so we did get 3 to 4, but we have some very tough parts to get left, which I'm not a fan of, but hey, could be worse, I suppose. I am contemplating doing something really dumb. So I don't think I should do the dumb thing I'm contemplating. I think I should play it safe. Oh, wait, I did do it bad, actually, because it's gonna spam Pikmin. I need to actually have 100 on the field to make sure I don't have to actually manually pluck them in the, like, minute remaining. The count also goes up way faster in Pikmin 1 compared to every other Pikmin game, where it like ticks up a lot slower for some reason. Also, hey, that's everything I wanted to do on this day, so we might as well just nope out. Overall, again, second try on that is not bad. Next day should actually be pretty easy. In theory, the next day should be pretty easy, because all we have are 3 parts that, like, don't have much combat involved. 10 days since impact. If I can just find 5 more parts, the dolphin will be fully rebuilt. But time has grown short. I must not flag in my search. Even if I can't not recover every piece, I will not give up. Surely some of those parts are absolutely necessary. I can almost see my smiling family. Still deathless. Cool. I love when Olimar sometimes is like, oh no, I have to get like 3 parts and I only have like 20 days left. It's like, Olimar, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine, buddy. Like, you got nothing to worry about. Alright, this should be, fingers crossed, our final day in the distant spring. We actually don't need yellow Pikmin anymore, believe it or not. That might sound like a weird statement, given, there's one part that very clearly requires yellow Pikmin in this area. However, I'm not going to use yellow Pikmin to get it, because I want to show off a speedrun trick, because I can. This is a very easy trick to perform. At this point, we have so little left to do in this day, or in this area, that it really wouldn't be that helpful to do this trick. But it looks cool, so I'm gonna show it off. That's kind of my logic, is hey, rule of cool. So, what we want to do is toss like 20 Pikmin up here. I'm gonna toss like 30 just to err on the side of caution. I'm also gonna fight the water dumbles over here as Olimar, because 1, we have time, and 2, I, again, don't like fighting them with Pikmin because sometimes they have trouble latching onto the one actively trying to eat Pikmin. So it's a very easy way to quickly release Pikmin. Again, it's very interesting having played this game, you know, many times over the past 22 years, basically. I have developed a ridiculous amount of, like, very specific strategies to avoid losing Pikmin. Hi, AC, welcome on in. Thank you for the head pats. I need my own head pat emote at some point. Again, it feels like it's something that comes up with me enough that it's something that will be of use. Also to avoid having to rely on gift subs, as I've talked about before. Okay, glitch time. So what you're supposed to do is turn the Pikmin into yellow Pikmin, toss them over to the shore, toss them up to the part, then change them back into blue Pikmin, and then carry the part through the water. Instead, what I'm going to do is wake up this ball bear, lure it over to this little corner, get up here, and then let it attack me. If I do it right, basically his hitbox will push me into the wall, which will actually push me up here. So we can basically skip the actual, like, process of using the candy pop buds to convert Pikmin by doing that trick. It's one of my favorite little, like, small speedrun tricks in this game. It's one of the only ones I can actually do. The other speedrun trick I actually do to some degree, which is just designed to speed up the third day in the Forest of Hope, because I've never done a 6-day run of this game, is using the bomb rocks to take out the wall in the water in the Forest of Hope. Again, that's the only other, like, major exploit I use. Again, ball bears will not de-aggro. I found my Cronus reactor. Using strange new technology, this machine is able to warp space-time, the space-time continuum, and turn it into energy. I'm constantly amazed at how many mysteries are locked inside the parts of my ship. Again, because ball bears will not de-aggro unless you're actually watching them go back to sleep, I actually do need to let, like, go ease up a little bit, just to make sure he's asleep. Now we should, massive air quotes, should be able to carry this back, no problem. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. The blue Pikmin should go through the water with it, so yeah, I think they're gonna be okay, I hope. Okay, looks like they're fine. So now we can worry about the second Ionium jet up here. This one's easy to get. This is like, you have to toss Pikmin up and then toss them over to the part. It's pretty easy. You only need like 15 again. I think the guidebook actually has a typo. Like the official Nintendo player guide, I think it says 20 for this, but it's only 15, like the original. I mean, it can be nice to have more than enough, just in case you miss a throw. Cronus reactor. This reactor changes permutations in the space-time continuum into pure energy. Basically, it's like a big rubber band. Hey, we have gotten to 26 out of 30, so only 2 more. Hi Stormblight, welcome on in. You didn't miss too much, other than me, like, slightly glitching the distance spring. I found my number 2 Ionium jet. It's easy on the eyes, and its fuel efficiency is easy on the budget. Well, that just sounds like a sales pitch at that point. Okay, what do I want to do now? They should be fine. Mild hesitance on committing to that sentence, knowing how Pikmin AI can be, but they should be okay. So we'll start working on this bridge up here. I like to keep an eye on them sometimes. It's like, I don't entirely trust the AI to not just run straight into a raging enemy. But looks like they're fine. So we might as well build this bridge. And we're not going to fight the Armored Cannon Beetle for obvious reasons. But we are going to at least get started on that a little bit early. We We actually do want a decent amount of blue Pikmin for this, just for the sake of being able to carry everything back. I don't know if I want to fight it with blue Pikmin though. It'll be a little bit annoying. Number 2 Ionium Jet. The ads for these jets boast that with excellent mileage that's easy on the family budget, this jet will keep your spouse smiling and propel you to a happy home life. That is oddly specific. What day are we on, actually? We're on day 11. Jesus, this could be a 12-day run. Which is actually kind of my normal. Straight up, I didn't think I was gonna match that pace. I thought this would be, like, a 14-day run just because of, like, safety strats. But frankly, I don't... Again, because I don't really go for, like, the absolute fastest strats anyway, I don't really feel like I lost too much time with the strats I ended up employing, which is nice. So we got this guy again. Just gotta button mash as many Pikmin onto his back as possible, basically. Again, you can very easily one-cycle this, no prob. I've discovered the bowsprit. With this piece installed, my ship should regain some of its sleek shape. This is like very heavy. Yeah, you can put 50 on this, and then you can put another 50 on the cannon beetle itself. I'm gonna give it some space, because I'm afraid if they're too close together, they'll end up pushing each other into the ball bear. I'm gonna, again, watch this like a hawk, because I don't trust the AI to not run into something. Alright, they're taking a wide swing. I'm a little bit more worried about the cannon beetle. I think it has a slight... Actually, it looks like it has a smaller hitbox. So if the bowsprit made it through, the cannon beetle should be no problem. But you never know with Pikmin. Looks like they're good. Okay. Smooth sailing. Army Cannon Beetle is one of the most productive enemies in the game. You can easily get like 50 Pikmin from each one, and I think they do respawn. Like if you're willing to go back to the Forest of Hope, you can just get another easy 50 Pikmin. Also, I think I double checked and the swooping snitch bug shows up in the Forest of Hope in like day 15 onwards. That is way later than I thought it would be. The so-called face of the dolphin, and point of fact, I designed it. So yeah, he actually was the one who made that part, interestingly. It wasn't, or like designed it, it wasn't just like, you bought it off someone like so many of the other parts in this, collection. Alright, again, this ball bear is in a better position than the previous day, so we should be able to do this no problem. I think the Nintendo Power Guide also says 15 for the UV lamp, when it's actually 10. But again, you might need extra just because of how easily they'll fall off that ledge over there. But this should be our last ship part. This is actually one of the optional ones. So it's kind of anticlimactic ending on this one, actually. Given it, yeah, this one is totally optional. There's not really any significant reason to get this one. This handy light is great for tanning, but it doesn't seem to have any relation to the dolphin's flight capabilities. I doubt that will affect my escape from this planet. Perhaps there are other parts like this as well. I've recovered 29 out of 30 parts, increasing the dolphin's capabilities. My search can now cover a wider area. So the funny thing about this is the final part in the last area is also one of the optional parts. You can actually complete the game without either this part or the last one. You'll get a slightly rockier ending, but it really doesn't matter, to be honest. The other problem I'm having right now is I don't know what else to do with this day. I might just call it here, actually, because like there's nothing else to do here that I want to take a chance on. I need to specify, because there is something we could do here. I'm gonna save it for a separate day. Again, this playthrough is going really well, to the point where, like, I have time. I might show off some of the, some other secrets, too. I might fight the, Smoky Prog, but I don't want to do it on this day, because I don't want to throw away progress, basically. So yeah, I think I'll save that for, a little bit later. like, next day. Again, I might just make this a 14-day run in spirit, just by goofing around a little bit, to be honest. If I can guide this guy closer to the entrance, I might be able to fight it, no problem. And we'll get a lot of pellets, so we might as well grow some more Pikmin since we have time. Again, not a necessity at this point, we have plenty of Pikmin for the rest of the game, especially with a Deathless run, you only need like 100, technically, of certain types if you want to like have an easier time, but like I've seen runs of Pikmin where they literally only have like 50 for the entire game. And that is like more efficient because you're not actually raising as many. In some ways it's more efficient, in other ways it's less efficient, obviously, because you have less you have fewer numbers to actually speed up certain tasks. Hi Peter, welcome on in. Hope you're doing okay. Hope everyone's having a good day, by the way. My day's been actually pretty okay. Might talk about that a little bit later, depending on how much time we have. But yeah, this is a very smooth run. I'm actually very impressed that I have not had any major catastrophes, given that I tend to have major catastrophes while playing Pikmin. So yeah, in general, I'm very happy with this playthrough turning out as smoothly as it did. I think I'm gonna do some side stuff next. I don't know if I'll, for the sake of like, I can get a 12-day run, so I'm kind of like eyeing that right now. I might gotta go for a 13 just if the final boss gives me trouble. If we try the final boss and I lose Pikmin a bunch and I end up resetting a lot, I might just save before the boss. 11 days since impact. At last, but a single part remains. Since I've recovered 29 of the missing parts, the dolphin's power is near capacity. In the forest depths below, I see a region where the final part must lie. Clearly, this is my final trial. My life support fails in 19 days. Courage. Totally need a lot of courage there, Olimar. It's not like we have any urgency here. So yeah, we're gonna goof off a little bit, actually, for the sake of, oh yeah, you get a meteor shower the first time you unlock the distant spring, or the final trial, which is really nice. I'm gonna do something kind of goofy, actually. We're gonna go back here. Again, I might not save this day for the sake of, like, getting a decent time on the game. But then again, you'd also get a lot of Pikmin this way. So I'm kind of torn on how to actually go about this. Again, do I want a Pikmin record or do I want a day count record? It's basically the conundrum I'm facing at the moment. Did the shear grips or shear wicks not respawn yet? I thought they respawned by now, but I guess not. So we have an easy time of just going over here, I guess. So basically what I'm gonna do is try to fight the game's super boss in a way that hopefully will make it deathless, but also might take like 10 minutes. So it should be very obvious what I'm planning, given them stocking up on bomb rocks at the moment. This should be very self-explanatory what I'm up to. We might end up losing Pikmin anyway, you know, full disclosure, just because things can go horribly wrong in this game. So I'm not entirely expecting a totally flawless run, but I'll do my best. Did somebody say boom? Yeah. On GameCube, I've actually seen clips where you can actually set off chain reactions in order to actually do the fight even faster, but I've tested it on this version with my old file. I couldn't get it to work, so yeah, it looks like we have to just manually chuck bombs. There's no way to like one cycle it with bombs, unfortunately. But this here is an egg. We're gonna crack its egg. Basically, if you get up to it like this, kind of like other enemies, it'll eventually aggro. You can also damage the egg. You can actually break the egg outright, which just completely kills it. Like, you can kill it before it spawns, which won't give you any kind of prize. But anyway, congrats to the Smoky Prog for coming out of its egg. I'm trying to formulate a pride joke, and I'm struggling a little bit to word this properly. So the Smoky Prog's enemy behavior involves trying to uproot Pikmin with its roar. So it tends to basically go to underneath an onion, roar, and then just kind of chill there for a little bit. It just kind of sits around, which actually gives you a very good opportunity to just throw bomb rocks at it. The one problem is they sometimes clip the onion itself, which means the bombs don't actually, like, go off properly. Shoot, okay. So eventually, it'll de-aggro, and it'll just resume its same pattern of, like, you know, roaring. This is really easy, actually. So yeah, this is how you trivialize the hardest boss in the game. It's just slowly chuck bomb rocks at it. I could have done that last time, I had enough time. The fun thing about the Smoky Prog is... Oh my god, I just realized it's Smoky Prog. That joke works even better than I thought it did. The fun thing about this is it drops this little pearl. This will give you 100 Pikmin, like straight up. So once we take it back, it'll literally give you like 100 sprouts. This is why I put all my Pikmin away, just because it looks spectacular to see this. Like, look at all those. That's wild. I can't think of anything else that gives you this many Pikmin in any of the games in the series. This will take forever, by the way. It actually doesn't take that long. Especially in this version, you can just hold A, which is nice. Again, that was a feature added in 4, I think. And so they retrofitted it into the Switch versions of 1 and 2. So yeah, I don't have to like button mash for like a minute, which is nice. So yeah, hey, chat, do I save that? Like, attempt to have a higher number, or do I go for a smaller day count? Because I'm like, I'm not sure if I should save this day or not, or if I should just go back to my previous file. Because again, there are merits to both options, basically. I typically don't really go for Pikmin grown records though, so I might just go back to the file select. Truth be told. But again, I just kind of want to show this off because it's very funny. And again, this is like the worst boss in the game. Its entire body is poisonous, except for like just its face. So you have to like carefully align Pikmin with its face. If it touches anywhere else, the Pikmin will instantly be disintegrated. So like, it's one of the most like scary bosses in the entire series. But yeah, Bomb Rocks completely trivialize it apparently. So hey, if you ever want to fight this guy legit, this is how you do it real quickly. If you break the egg, it will not respawn. If you aggro it and don't kill it, it won't respawn, and the egg itself will disappear on its own after day 15, so it's a very elusive enemy. The speed or score are more important. Yeah, I think speed is slightly more important to me, so I think I am gonna go back to my previous save. These files look very similar now. And next up we have this, the impact site. So after day 7, I think, special enemies will start to appear in the impact site. I actually need to take a look real quick to see which one is here, because I forgot which one is even and which one is odd. Okay, even is the Memuta, which is actually like a version of, like an evolution of the Smoky Prog. I think the Smoky Prog is like a baby Memuta, which basically creates a duality, because the Smoky Prog is incredibly deadly to Pikmin, that even just touching them will, again, instantly disintegrate them. However, the Mamuta is actually kind of helpful. Basically, the Mamuta will not attack Pikmin. Instead, it'll just plant Pikmin. Whenever it plants a Pikmin, they'll actually sprout into a flower. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it. We killed it too fast. But yeah, that's a very unique property of the Mamuta. They don't give nearly as many, like, you know, Pikmin as the Smoky Prog. Significantly smaller number, but again, it's just kind of cool to show that off. Our final, like, secret and actually, I need to use a cool feature of the Wii version onwards for this game. You can actually roll back to earlier days, which is very nice. I actually might do it on my old file, just to make sure I don't screw something up here on the stream file. Wow, in this file, did I really get the... Huh, really? I actually got the positron generator last on this file. Again, there's so many ways to approach different scenarios in Pikmin. It's really fascinating because it's like, yeah, you can just go about the same level in drastically different ways. I probably wanted to fight the Gulix so I could get more Pikmin out of it, because I think it drops pellets. So yeah, I think that's probably my way of thinking, but I don't know what passed me from a year or two ago. God, that would have been like 2 years? Pikmin 4 was July, and then I think these were a shadow drop for a direct, but I also didn't buy them right away because I waited for the physical, kind of like Metroid Prime. I did the same for. So like, I would have played this probably back in like sometime spring of 2023, probably. So yeah, I don't know what past me was thinking. So the technique for the Gulix is you want to latch as many Pikmin onto its pearl as possible. It won't do that much damage inherently. However, if you get a lot of Pikmin on it, if I'm not mistaken, this is how this works, and then you hit the other little ball inside of it, it deals a lot more damage. Like, naturally, I don't think it does that much damage to just hit the ball on its own. Basically trying to get a lot of Pikmin latched onto it first causes like a chain reaction of sorts. So yeah, that is all of the secret bosses, quote-unquote bosses, of Pikmin 1. Okay, it doesn't actually overwrite until you actually save the file. That's nice. Alright, final trial. So, this area is interesting because you could technically divide it into 2 days. I think the guidebook actually recommends doing that. I'm gonna try it in 1 day first, and if it doesn't go well, I'll save just to make my life easier. You get a bunch of candy pop buds in case you're short on Pikmin, which is very nice. I always go with 87, because we need 3 bomb rocks for a wall, and we need 10 red Pikmin for a box. But the majority of the time spent on this stage is actually building bridges, so I typically divide about like this. Also, thank you for the hydration check, GV. I'll take care of that very shortly, because we're almost at an ad break, so we'll handle that before too long. This bridge is longer, I think, so we'll toss generally more Pikmin onto this one. Like, not like this, I think it will be good. You also can't climb up to that ledge on your own. This one you can. You can just walk up this one, so that's nice. This one's kind of stuck, but it's fine. We just need to remember to get him on the way back. Meanwhile, we need to take our yellow Pikmin and go on a little adventure and toss him up here. And then up here, use the geyser to make it up to the sledge and get these bomb rocks. You know, if you want to be really extra, you could probably make that bomb throw from here, especially on Switch or Wii. The only problem is, I'm pretty sure they try to go back to Olimar, which means they go into the water and die. So that's the only reason I don't do that. Also, this version is nice because, again, in GameCube, if you whistle a Pikmin that you've thrown with a bomb rock, you have to like bump into them to like recollect them. In the Wii version, onwards, you can just whistle them, like, straight up. Which actually can be annoying, because getting them to manually drop bombs does have merit at times, especially with the fight coming up shortly. So yeah, there are actual reasons why you might not want to do it that way. Okay, that's the one under the bridge, so we're good to go there. I also want to get rid of all my blue Pikmin, because we really don't need them for anything at this point. Okay, I do not want that blue Pikmin tagging along. Alright, Alright, so there should be 10 red Pikmin over there, so I want to get rid of all my blue Pikmin here, and then I want to take out... let's go 17 more yellow Pikmin. We should have 20 total, and then we'll get all the rest filled out with red Pikmin, because we have a boss coming up, basically. Final boss time. Truth be told, I actually think it's easier than the Smoky Prog on paper if you're not fighting it with bombs. Without, this is actually a worthy challenge. The ad break is just about to start anyway, so I actually might pause there, because I actually do need to step away really quickly for something. Also, this bridge stresses me out. I usually like swarm like this, just to keep them from going into the water. Like, I just kind of go back and forth, to kind of like make them go in a line, because otherwise they kind of swerve all over the place. There's plenty of bomb rocks around, actually. There's like grass up here too. You can actually go up around in order to get stuff over there. These walls are like the easiest walls to break in the entire game. You shred through them. I want to test something. Okay, so they're not designed to just crumble immediately, but if you have like a full squad, they come down very quickly. I want to say there are walls in 2 that also come down really fast with 100 Pikmin. Alright, so that means we've basically done everything we can in the final trial. We have a little bit more prep work we can do, which is just harvest bomb rocks from these little pipes over here. Again, there's more over there. We don't really need them, though. Again, yellow Pikmin lose the ability to carry bomb rocks in later games, which is kind of a shame, because it's kind of a neat attribute, but again, it doesn't really have much use in the later games, I feel, like, just based on the design. Like, I'm trying to think of... There are actually bomb rocks in some of them, now that I'm thinking about it. Alright, so all that's left is to fight the boss, but again, we do have ads starting very soon, so I'm gonna come over here, leave off with the fight for a little bit later. So yeah, I'm gonna take a short break, and then we will fight the final boss. The emotional whiplash of peaceful Animal Crossing music going into Disaster of Passion. I know the song is pretty divisive. I personally really like it. The ads actually didn't play, because I didn't manually activate them, so unfortunately that means we probably have another 3 minutes of waiting, unfortunately, so that's on me. I accidentally didn't activate that. So that's my bad, again. Unfortunate how I just forget things like that sometimes. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well today. Again, it's been a pretty nice day for me so far. Not too eventful, I'd say. I need to play more Strive, to be honest. I'm kind of waiting for a patch, to be blunt, which will basically be whenever Unica gets added, which will be end of May, supposedly. There's gonna be a demo for Unica at EVO Japan. So, like, I'm really interested to see how she plays, because based on the anime, she could be really interesting. I have been keeping up with dual reelers quite a bit, which actually feels really weird to me, because I haven't really kept up with an anime like this in forever. Most anime that I've seen is, like, well after it's finished airing, and I just kind of binge it. In general, though, I kind of don't watch that much anime unless, like, friends are also watching anime. So, Dual Reelers also is unique because it's a case of me just watching anime by myself, which is a very different vibe, I think, than watching with friends. But to be blunt, I also kind of feel like what am I trying to say? I kind of don't feel like it makes that much sense unless you're, like, super into the lore, and even then, it's like, I have not kept up with the lore enough to be able to exactly follow what's happening in Dual Reelers. It does a decent job of recapping, and as someone who's never played Overture, I think I can speak from some level that Dual Reelers is doing an okay job of explaining some things. Like some things, like Thunder Seal coming up, which is something from Overture that I'm aware of. Which, if you know me, of course, that's the one part of Overture I'm already aware of. Yeah, there's definitely things that are not explained super well, and just kind of briefly touched on. The other interesting thing about EVA Japan is, like, what state is Tekken 8 gonna be in by the time EVA Japan actually happens? Because it did, like, an emergency patch, because apparently Tekken 8 isn't that dire of a shape at the moment. Like, the most recent patch just kind of messed up a lot of the overall balance. There's just a lot of, like, bugs too. The reviews were pretty negative. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happening there. I'm not really a Tekken expert to be able to say what's happening there. But again, it does make me wonder what the hell is going to happen in EVA Japan with Tekken. If it's just going to be kind of a balancing mess. I'm curious though. I'm very intrigued. I like watching fighting games, even the ones that I don't have exact knowledge of how they even function. Because a lot of these fighting games, like Street Fighter, even though I'm not, like, a fan of Street Fighter from an actual playing it standpoint, it's fun to watch people who are really good at it. Again, I don't know why I just dropped a frame from an encoding error. Did you check out ad break? Yeah, I was talking about, like, EVA Japan, because Unica is going to be demoed there for Strive Season 4. Yeah, I was talking about, like, yeah, I wonder what kind of shape Tekken 8 is going to be in by the time EVO Japan rolls around, because I hear the community has strong feelings on the most recent patch. Mostly, like, they kind of talked about, like, increasing defense and then just kind of up the offense, so the disconnect in what they were saying their goal was with the patch and what the patch actually does seems to kind of be the most recent, like, beef with this game. Also, Elena just got a trailer for Street Fighter 6. I totally forgot that was happening today. But yeah, I need to get back into Street Fighter 6, give it, like, an actual legit shot. And a bunch of other Street Fighters too. Third Strike 4, Alpha 3. You know what they were doing with the Elena trailer? Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be one of those trailers. Yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying vibing, not gonna lie. Good timing on that stretch break before I tabbed over to the other stream scene. Ow. Ooh, that hurt. Ooh, ow. Owie. Okay. That my back did not appreciate the way I stretched just now. I'm not sure what I did, but... Ow. Okay. That's a good start. I don't know how lined up this is gonna be. Are you okay, Buster Wolf? I don't... the actual answer is I'll be okay. I just kinda... I have a weird spine, so, sometimes if I stretch the wrong way, I can kinda aggravate, like, a scoliosis, thing. Yeah, I'll be okay. Alrighty then, all that's left is the final boss. I'm mildly concerned because I'm not great at fighting this boss, like, straight up. And it's actually a little bit wonky in this version compared to GameCube, because again, you can't drop bombs directly, so you have to be a lot more like on the ball with things. There we go. Good start. Some of those Pikmin are absolutely gonna get crushed if I'm not careful. Case in point, that one just got crushed, so that's a reset. So yeah, if this just takes too long, what I'll end up doing is just doing the setup for the boss on its own day, and then fight the boss like on a separate day, just so I don't have to do the setup every time. Like I might just do that, just to make things a little bit easier on myself. I think my model is slightly out of alignment. Basically what happened is, one, I missed a lot of throws at first, and two, I called them back too soon, to the point where they kind of fall off the Emperor Bulbul Axe and then get crushed. But yeah, it's a little bit harder because in the GameCube version you can just basically call the Pikmin back, and they'll drop the bomb, and then you don't have to worry about the Pikmin accidentally being eaten in the process. So yeah, there's some quirks in this version for sure. I'm pretty sure in the GameCube version as well, actually, if you toss the bomb rock directly into its mouth, it does actually do more damage, / stun it longer. So it is actually worthwhile to have the Pikmin throw the bomb into its mouth anyway. It's just a lot harder to time that on, GameCube versus Wii or Switch, basically. I've also never been the biggest fan of this song. I don't know why, but the vibes of it feel slightly off to me. I feel like it's supposed to be a little bit triumphant, but it almost doesn't feel like it kind of fits in with the rest of the soundtrack, if that makes sense. Like, it kind of juxtaposes in a way that I can't quite figure out how to explain, but it doesn't quite mesh, if that makes any sense. Again, I feel like a big problem I have with a lot of games and game talk in general is just how much my life is dictated, my opinions are dictated by vibe checks, essentially. So a lot of times it literally is just like, oh yeah, the vibe's off, and like I can't give a quantitative like reason for disliking something or liking something, it's just a vibe check. So yeah, I think that's something that's like legitimately hard to explain a lot of times. At least it feels like it is. Like, it's hard to quite convey my reasonings for liking or disliking things sometimes. You can't describe the music, yeah. I feel like a lot of Nintendo music kind of falls into this category. I almost described it as penis music, but I don't think that quite counts in this case. Like, Splatoon definitely has some penis music, for sure. They're like borderline on that. I don't even know where that meme term comes from, to be honest. I don't know why they started calling it that. It's funny, I enjoy the metaphor just because it's silly, but... It's not like how I would have initially described that style of music. Alright, second try on the Emperor Bulbul Axe. Wait, what happened? I think my numbers are off. What happened? Were the blues not all the way back in the onion? Oh, I only got 17 yellows. That was the problem. Is Unit memeing on the phrase butt rock? Probably, actually. Also, hi, welcome on in. Hope you're having a good day. We're just finishing up Pikmin at the moment. This will probably be a shorter stream. Normally I've been streaming like 2 to 3 hours, but 1, I kind of meant to start closer to 3, but got sidetracked. 2, we didn't have much of the game left, so I wasn't overly concerned about doing a whole lot today. And 3, I do want to raid somebody specific at 6. So because of that, we'll probably end like pretty close on the dot to 6 PM my time. If you know, you know. It'll make sense in the moment. But yeah, I want to make Thursday a regular streaming day. Monday, Thursday, at least to start. I would also like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at some point. But I need to build up stamina first, to be totally honest. Because yeah, my stamina for streaming is not the best, and I fully admit that's part of my issue right now. I say as I'm also like totally perishing from allergies, which are also not entirely helping here. But yeah, if we screw up this time, I'm gonna split up that setup part to get here with the actual boss. I'm just gonna make it a separate day just for the sake of getting through this a little bit faster. Again, such is the price you pay when you try a deathless run to Pikmin sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't entirely go as well as we would hope. There's actually some really good quality of life in this version specifically for the final boss. Some like mild changes that make this a little bit more accessible, which is nice. Again, you know, as much as the graphical overhaul is like non-existent in this version, like it's a little bit higher res, like certain UI elements are higher res, but like the game is still pretty crusty. It's like definitely still like a launch window GameCube game. This was like December 2001, by the way. There are some nice quality of life improvements, like namely the Bulb Blacks actually has a shadow now, which is nice. Because again, he did not have a drop shadow on GameCube, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. Okay, backing up. Okay. So eventually he'll also start jumping, so the addition of a drop shadow is especially helpful in that case. Oh, well, that kinda sucked. Sometimes the Pikmin will do that if you throw them too early. There's like only 40 bomb rocks around the arena, there's no shortage. So we're fine, it's just... it'll take a little bit longer. Hey, you! Look my way. I think I started throwing too early, they might have landed under him. This might be a problem in a moment. Okay, we're good. Shit, we're not good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take this slow, just for the sake of, like, not being here for 5 million years. Being able to get back into the fight a little bit faster, I think is gonna help. Because this might take a few resets. Again, I actually might turn off the motion controls for this fight. I think the motion controls are actually screwing me up here. Like, I really want to do this in one day, because I know I can do it in one day. We got really close that time, we only needed one more cycle, and we would have done it. So that's why I'm kind of like... I don't know, maybe one more try with my preferred method of doing it all in one day. Because I would really love to be able to get another 12 day. I don't even remember what my record for Pikmin 2 is, to be honest. Pikmin 2 is kind of a weird game for structuring, because like, there's not really a time limit anyway. So like, going for like, times is just basically only for personal satisfaction. Like, there's no actual time limit. Like, there's no benefit for going fast in that game. In actuality, you might want to go slow in Pikmin 4 or Pikmin 2 just because it's a headache of a game. So it actually has benefits to just pacing yourself and not like burning out. Pikmin 2 also has a unique structure of having underground sections where time does not pass on the surface, which they actually fixed in Pikmin 4 by making it so time passes at like a fifth of the speed. So like you're still and also they make it so you can't like, you know, time out underground. They give you enough time to like, you know, catch your bearings at least, so it's not unfair or anything. But there's also the mechanic where it's like, if you only have like 10 seconds left of the day, you cannot like go into a cave. Like you can't stall out a day using caves, which is really nice. So, well, it's actually a bad thing, but it's nice from the perspective of having any semblance of game balance, which again, Pikmin 2 kind of doesn't have in both good and bad ways. Pikmin 2 is like extraordinarily imbalanced. In general, I still swear by my opinion that as a GameCube, as someone who grew up with the GameCube as a child, I still feel like the GameCube era was some of the rockiest first-party Nintendo games. There was a lot of games that are just like, what happened here? So many games that are just like, there was a lot of questionable decisions in this game. I'm trying to figure out why I'm also dropping frames specifically during intermission, and what if it has to do with like music playing, like switching songs or something. So yeah, I'll look into that as well on my own time. So I'm entering that really like frustrating mentality that everyone always does. I'm like, okay, one more try. So like, yeah, Pikmin 3 balance theme, choose. I love Pikmin 3 though. I think it's my favorite overall. I love 4 too, but I don't think it quite hit right for me. And again, that largely comes down to a vibe check, where it's like the vibes of Pikmin 4 felt slightly off to me, compared to 1 through 3. Like a little, like, je ne sais quoi was missing, and I don't know how to explain it better. Like, I think the change in logo says a lot, where it's like the old Pikmin games have like logos made out of the Pikmin flowers, while Pikmin 4's logo and also the rebranded Pikmin 1 through 3 logos are just kind of like, you know, bold text in green, and it's just kind of like, that's not nearly as interesting. Like, so from a UI design standpoint, I almost feel like Pikmin 4 is that kind of like, the recurring trend of Nintendo games of making readability better at the sake of style, essentially. So it's like the UI makes more sense to be very static, but it also is just boring. So yeah, kind of the mixed feeling on that, because I can see why they make the UI so like plain now, but it doesn't make me have to like that the UI is super plain now, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my take on Nintendo UI design. Almost got a half cycle on that. Well, damn. Readable with style is surprisingly hard to find, I feel. It's like, I almost feel like a lot of games struggle with readability, like, you know, Fire Emblem Three Houses, the big ones that played X before the remaster was a big one. It's just like menu management's been a problem in recent Nintendo games. Like, they're trying to make things more readable, but end up actually making it less readable. Okay. We can two-cycle this, potentially. But there are two variables. One, is he gonna do the jump attack? And two, am I gonna F up throws? So yeah, he'll start doing a jump attack at some point. Oh, he'll just ignore us. That works too. I mean, I'm not gonna complain, but... yeah, eventually he'll start doing a jump attack. His AI behavior is kind of stressing me out, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's just not entirely doing what I'm expecting him to. Also, the Pikmin are not cooperating entirely. Shit. God damn it. That was going really good, too. I'm mad about that. That was such a good run. Again, he wasn't jumping. I was trying to bait a jump, and he just wasn't. We can do this, though. This isn't difficult. Like, I know what I'm doing, it's just a matter of getting all the variables to line up. Yeah, and I almost do feel like, in general, UI design has gone more plain across the board. It's not just a Nintendo thing, which, like, you know, logo design is a lot plainer now. For the sake of readability, and again, it's one of those where it's like, I get it, but I also kind of miss the old days. But again, accessibility is important, to be fair. It's like, I think about like old PlayStation games where the menus were a lot more like fancy. But again, I get why they're less fancy than they used to be. So yeah, it's a lot of times with gaming stuff, that is kind of where I end up falling. It's like, I get why it's this way. I don't have to like that it's this way, but I get why it's this way. I think I tossed one more Pikmin on there just because I was trying to do a thing and I screwed it up. Let us see. Oh yeah, we'll get that on the way back, I suppose. Again, I'm just kind of discombobulated just because, again, one, I'm not feeling 100% anyway, but like... I'm also just kind of getting annoyed because we had a couple of really good runs. Like, if we had gotten that bomb in the first time and didn't let it jump, we would have easily gotten another, like, decent phase and might have been able to finish the fight straight up, like, right there. So yeah, again, this is still a lot easier than the final boss of 2, I'm not gonna lie. That boss is a complete pain in the ass. That is a fight that I don't even know how I'd advise someone to do the final boss of 2 on the first playthrough, like what advice I'd give them. I think my advice for the final boss of 2 would be to literally do the entire final dungeon, leave, and then go back with only blue and yellow Pikmin. I think that's genuinely how I would approach that final boss. Because like, if you have yellow Pikmin, it's not that bad. If you have blue Pikmin, it's not that bad. It's only if you have like every type of Pikmin with you at that moment that that fight becomes a complete disaster. And not of passion. I'm surprised May hasn't shown up in the anime yet, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like Bridget's been showing up a lot, but May still hasn't appeared. And Johnny's there, but not May. Because it's like, yeah, you know, May was part of the crew too. It's like Johnny being involved makes sense, because like, these characters have history. May should also be there, so that's very confusing to me. I mean, I've seen some theories that could just be actor availability of like, oh, well, this, you know, actor's unavailable, so let's just, you know, not have them in the story or something like that. So yeah, I am enjoying Dust Thrillers though. Again, it's just kind of like, I don't know if I can recommend it if you're not already a fan of Guilty Gear. Because I kind of keep going back and forth on it, where it's like, I can kind of see it not being that bad, and in other ways I can see it being actually really impenetrable. And like, I keep being very indecisive on if that is accessible or not. I think in general, it's pretty accessible, but there's just a couple of moments that are like, yeah, I don't think fans are gonna get this very well. Unless you're like deep dove into the lore of like, again, if you played Overture, which is a big hurdle. I still haven't played Overture. I'm contemplating that for a game clearing because it's only like 10 to 15 hours. So that'd be doable. Like, no problem. That's, again, we've discovered this is more bombs than we need by a landslide. Like, by a large-ass margin. Alright. Try this again. Jesus, Pikmin continue to stress me out. Again, it's mostly just getting the AI to cooperate at this point. Both for the Bulborb and the Pikmin. Again, he won't jump until after the halfway point of the fight, so we have a little bit of a buffer where we don't have to worry about that too much. I think I was standing too far away. I think that actually legit might be my problem. Alright, good cycle. I'm gonna get them to back off a little bit. I will say the more formal UI of 4 does make sense from a lore standpoint. Because it's like, you know, you're not playing as the same characters from 1 and 2. It's like 1 and 2 having like a unified style kind of makes sense. But also the gap in between games too. Hi Dewan guy, welcome on in. You have arrived for us on our, what, 4th attempt of the final boss? This hasn't been going great, I'm not gonna lie. It's not been going horribly, I just keep making like little small screw-ups that are making me have to redo a bunch of shit. Every time. What the fuck was that Pikmin doing? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm not concerned about best time at this point. I'm just gonna play it safe. Like, he just ran under for some reason. Like, I don't know what the AI was doing there. Genuinely confused at that. So yeah, to save us time, because again, we will be here all day at this point if I don't do this. We're just gonna go to Sunset immediately after doing all of the setup for this area, and then we'll just do the final boss as its own day. So I don't have to worry as much about like Pikmin management and everything and building everything. It'll save us a lot of time, and I wish I had done it sooner if I had known the boss was gonna give me this much trouble. Again, this game is very fickle sometimes. Like, sometimes I have no problems with it, other times it's a headache, and it does create a very different dynamic if you're actually streaming the game than if you're just playing it, like, casually. Like, if I'm playing this by myself, I have no objection just, you know, bashing my head against the wall on a challenge for a little bit. But, you know, on a stream, when I'm actually on, like, a time limit, essentially, we need to pick up the pace, basically. Alright, I almost feel like Pikmin 2 is actually in some ways easier for resets because, for like Underground at least, you just restart that floor. So you really don't have to worry as much compared to other games. The one problem with Pikmin 2 is there are actually some glitches that I don't know if they've been fixed or not, in the Switch version. So like, I've run into a glitch where, Pikmin, like, died, essentially, in a cutscene, like, as treasure being carried back. They basically clip, like, a hazard and die. But because it's in the cutscene, the number doesn't go down, so it doesn't count as a death, effectively. So it's, like, really weird. So yeah, these games do have some very bizarre glitches, especially, on GameCube. Like, on the original hardware, like, these games have some weird quirks. Yeah. Okay. You know, the frustrating part. I'm so like torn because it's just, like the thing is, I know as soon as I do this, like go to the effort of making it so I have an easy save point, I'm gonna get a first try. I know I am because I know my luck. And also, my problem right now is I'm getting like slightly annoyed at the game itself, which I think is also not helping because I'm rushing it too much. I need to like take my time, take it slow, you know. Don't sweat the details, just kinda take a deep breath and be patient with this fight. I think that's ultimately it. And again, a lot of it comes down to the feeling like I know I can do it. I've done this 20 times, at least throughout my life, probably more. I don't have my original files because my GameCube memory card fried itself. Fun story. The biggest memory card size, which is about like 1,000 blocks. It's like a specific like white colored memory card instead of like the gray or black ones. Those are notorious for failures, apparently. So I had all my stuff on that one like 1,000 block memory card, and it corrupted because apparently those corrupt very easily. So I lost a lot of my childhood saves, like SA2, Sunshine. I think I lost like original Animal Crossing Town. Like I lost a lot of saves with that memory card. So yeah, I actually don't know how many times I played this game. Plus, also it doesn't track past a certain point. Like it only tracks the first like top 5 basically. It doesn't track beyond that, and it doesn't track like total runs either. So yeah, I have no clue how many times in my life I've played this game, but it's a large number. This is easily my most played game, like, ever. If you discount, Resident Evil 2, because I technically don't do full runs of RE2 very often, I almost always just do a clear run. If you're not counting Resident Evil 2, Pikmin is probably, like, uncontested as one of my most played games of all time, like, straight up. Like, extraordinarily uncontested, basically. Okay. Once again, we're just kind of at the mercy of the Pikmin actually cooperating. That's not what I call cooperating. Oh my god. I think this is the most aggravated I've, like, ever gotten on the stream, to be honest. It's not even because it's like difficult, it's just because I know I can do this, and I'm now just getting frustrated because the game itself is not cooperating. Which is just kind of the problem with Pikmin in general, because Pikmin is like heavily based on the AI of the Pikmin cooperating with you. So it can just cause a lot of problems very quickly. Yeah, I wish I'd started half an hour sooner now. I didn't think this would be as much of a headache as it is, because normally I have no problems with this final boss. But that's just kind of the streamer curse kicking in, I think. This happens to a lot of people where it's like, yeah, streaming this game isn't, or like playing this game isn't bad, it's just streaming it. Everything goes wrong. Which again, makes me wonder how Pikmin 2 would go on stream. Because again, Pikmin 2 is like notoriously kind of all over the place, quality-wise, because it's like, it's got like roguelike elements essentially, so you're at the mercy of like random generation for a lot of things, and sometimes the RNG can be very not in your favor with Pikmin 2. I've had treasures not spawn before. Like straight up, I'm pretty sure I've had a run of like the submerged castle, which is like the worst level in the game, and like a treasure didn't spawn, so I had to do it twice. You know, the benefit of that is that at least you don't have to do everything in one go, so it's not as bad as it would be on paper, but it still had the unfortunate dilemma of, oh, I have to go all the way back over there. And it's also a problem because usually I finish the perplexing pool on the day of repaying the debt, which means there's actually another problem of if I have to go back to the submerged castle, that means I actually might not I might get kicked out of the game basically before the credits, and I might have to actually restart. Like, go back to the perplexing pool for like one treasure in a cave on one day, and that's it. Instead of doing everything in like that one day. So again, this is all stuff that will come up if I ever play Pikmin 2 on stream, which is likely, because again, it is one of many very influential games to my whole life. So yeah, if we're going over influential games, Pikmin 2 is definitely one of them, and actually more positive ways than negative, which again is not the most common take. It feels like Pikmin 2 is a very, very polarizing game. But in general, I do feel like Pikmin 2 is a game I just have so much, like, knowledge of that I can get through it, like, no problem, usually. Again, usually being the key phrase, but again, that goes for this game too. Normally, I don't have that many issues with Pikmin 1, but again, I think streaming it kind of throws me off because I'm not focused as much as I should be. And we only need a couple of really good cycles, and that's it. That's all we need. Yeah, if I don't finish exactly at 6, it's not a big deal to come in a little bit late. But I would really rather not have to come back here, like, next time just to beat the final boss of this game. Yeah, that's the frustrating part. As soon as I do a day 13 save for this, I know I'll get it first try, like, after. Because that's just how I go, how my luck goes. Like, if I heal in an RPG, the next hit will be the last hit I need. That's the law of how RPGs work. That's just how it goes. Alright, I've lost count of how many attempts this is, I'm gonna be real. It's like, okay, you can just stand there, that works too. It's like 5, I think, maybe 6? He hit the ball blacks directly, which caused the explosion to kill it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I give up. Trying to be fancy. Yeah, sorry the energy's not in the best spot in this stream. Again, I'm just getting kind of frustrated at the game at this point. Also, hi Zon, welcome on in. Hope you're doing okay. Been lurking? Aw, I hope you enjoy your lurk. Again, literally I thought this would take an hour, and then I'd spend the rest of the hour, like, just doing something in a different game. Like, genuinely, I didn't think it would take all 2 hours. Which I think is part of the reason why I'm frustrated at this point, is because I thought it would go really smoothly. And now it's, like, really not going smoothly, and that's just kind of frustrating me more than if I was, like, having a legitimate difficulty. It's just like, yeah, the Pikmin are not doing what I want them to. And that makes it worse, because, like, if it's something I'm doing wrong, then it's user error, but if it's the Pikmin are just not behaving the way I feel they should be, then that's ultimately on the game, and that makes it more frustrating. Yeah, just for the sake of speeding this up, we're gonna stop at this opening segment. Yeah, it's like there's a bomb right there, and yet the Pikmin can't find it for some reason. I should have done this way sooner, but again, I legit thought we'd get through this way faster than we are. Again, 13 days is still pretty decent for me. Like, sometimes this happens organically, but again, the last run I did was 12 days, which was, like, really good. I was hoping for another 12-day run, but it's fine. But again, the best thing to focus on now is just getting through the stream, basically, is my current mentality. Oh, that is finished. Okay, I thought you called them back too soon. Alright, take care of this wall. And yeah, I'm not even gonna put the Pikmin back at this point. I'm just gonna go over here and tear down the 2 walls up ahead, and then just go to sunset, basically. And I'll create a save, so that means we save like 3 minutes every time of having to do this, like, opening bit every time. How many minutes would that save, actually? Because, like... I'm trying to gauge, because each day is like 13 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, each dot is a minute. Okay, so yeah, we would save about 3 minutes if we go to sunset here. So yeah, it's not a huge time save, but again, I should have done this sooner, just for my sanity, basically. So that's on me. I should have, you know, swallowed my pride sooner, to be honest. Alright, so again, I have this feeling that as soon as we end up doing all this effort to have a save and not have to do as much, like, stressing out over doing the opening bit every time, I'm gonna get it first try or something. 12 days since impact, hope has begun to well up within me for the dolphins' repair and my own chances for a reunion with my dear family. Tomorrow I shall go forth with a new attitude and continue my exploration in a different region. Hope that fortune will smile upon me. Olimar, we're staying in the same place. What are you talking about? But yeah, that was about 3 minutes, or 2 minutes or so. So yeah, we'll save a little bit of time every time. Again, I was expecting the frustration to be with the beady long legs also is the other thing. I was expecting that to take forever. So it's like, this stream is gonna take the same amount of time as I thought the game would take all along. It's just, it's gonna take more time on this section rather than the section I was expecting it to take a lot of time on. Which is why, again, I think I'm getting more frustrated, because I got through the hard part really quickly, and now something that's comparatively easy, I'm like, running into hurdles with. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Again, we will have less downtime, now, just because we can go straight to the fight. Which is at least one positive of doing this. The other thing I'm debating is not using the hill gate and using, like, the one closer to the arena. Where'd a Pikmin go? Oh, we got stuck over there, that's fine. So yeah, I guess that kind of makes our decision for us. Yeah, once we're done with Pikmin, I'm not entirely sure what we'll do next. It's been a long time since I've done a game clearing stream, so I might do one of those instead of, like, another favorites. I have the next favorite picked out, by the way. It's just a matter of, do I want to have variety, basically? Alright. Just fun match like my life depends on it, basically. Alright. God damn it. See, that's the other problem. Tripping. Because that Pikmin just tripped, and there's nothing we could do to help it. Like, we literally can't do anything to save it. So even in childhood games, they can have these little annoyances, so it's one of those situations of I'm a strong advocate of, like, no game is perfect. I normally don't like saying it just because it feels like something that should be obvious. Yeah, that Pikmin was in Brawl, and that just happens. Like, a lot of times Pikmin will trip at the worst possible time, and you just literally can't save them because they just tripped. So, they don't trip as much in 2 onwards, which is nice at least. At least as far as I remember, and they might still trip in 2. It's so complicated though, because like 1 and 2 are the same engine, 3 is its own engine, and then 4 is its own engine. I think 4 uses Unreal, actually. Like Unreal Engine 4. Again, 3 Deluxe and 4 were also developed by Ating. Best known probably for their work on Marvel 3. Also, like, you know, a lot of fighting games. I think they might be helping with the Hunter x Hunter game coming out soon. Like Nen Impact, I think is the name of it. That game looks weird, because it looks very, like, low budget, if that makes sense. But it seems, like, decently fun, at least. But again, just very, like, low budget. Like, it's being published by ArcSys, but not developed by ArcSys, and it shows. It looks, like, very low budget compared to, like, you know, DNF Duel or anything like that. That was just me, not... So the problem with this version of the game is you have to hold down the swarm button instead of just using the right stick, so sometimes I forget about that because of muscle memory, and don't swarm the Pikmin out of the way fast enough. The other Pikmin also wasn't gonna throw the bomb, too, that was the other issue. But again, this is making restarts a lot faster, at the very least. Also, here's a question to people who stream. Is there a way to turn ads off? Because I actually don't know how to do that. Like, if automatic ads are on, I know there are ways you can pause ads. I don't know how to turn off ads from the dashboard. I don't know if I have to go into, like, actual settings to do that. Because, like, I might turn off automatic ads for the rest of the stream just so, like, it doesn't start playing during the credits. So I might look into that real quick. As well. Alright, again, I've lost count at this point. This has to be like attempt 8 or 9, I think. It's a large number, is all I know at this point. Yeah, sometimes this just happens with this game. 8 sounds right, yeah. You can also like whistle and throw while swarming, but it's just harder when you have to hold down L. Like having macro buttons like on like an 8-bit controller would be really nice, because it would actually make like using all the inputs a little bit easier. Like straight up, I think like an 8-bit controller would be really nice. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, he's just not gonna attack there, okay. I should not have my whole squad with me, this is a mistake. Okay, I'm being impatient. I threw so badly I had to call them back, I wasn't gonna chance that. Yeah, it happened again. It just tripped right in front of that. In general, I've actually been considering not doing automatic ads anymore, just because they keep happening at very inconvenient times. So I've legitimately considered not doing automatic ads and just running them manually and trying to remember to run them every hour, approximately. In streams like this, that definitely would help, because part of my issue right now is just like trying to beat the clock, essentially. I'm legitimately tempted to turn off motion controls, because I think that's actually part of my problem. I just know with automatic ads, it kind of helps me to remember how long I've been going, because a lot of times I just forget, to be honest. Alright, attempt... let's say 9. Again, I have no clue if that's the right number at this point, but we'll say 9. Yeah, I actually did find out how to turn ads off. You have to like manually go in and to the ad manager and like select, you know, turn off automatic, and that worked. So yeah, I might just not do automatic ads for now. Just like period, just stop that for the time being, and then just try manual. Yeah, it helps with breaks, but for some games, they just happen at really inopportune times. Like, with Pikmin, where days are like 13 minutes consistently, it can be very difficult to actually, like, have them line up in a way that doesn't interrupt gameplay. But like Mario's like, Mario levels are short. You can usually like power through a level and then just stop once you finish it. But like this is a little harder. A little more effort, I'd say. I think I need to fight it farther away from the wall. Like, I think that's throwing me off, because the Pikmin aren't launching as far, and they have less room to actually run away. Alright, okay. My number got thrown off, so I was like stressing for a moment, like, how many Pikmin should I have right now? Oh shoot, that's bad. I just need to be careful not to accidentally throw a bomb rock. I don't know if because I kind of got thrown off of my timing, I don't think I have enough time to actually do this. Okay. So, all we need is a tiny sliver of health. So, all we need to do is have him not jump. And that's it, that's GG. Hell yeah. Okay. Again, that took way longer than I was hoping it would. At long last, I found the final part of my secret safe, and as full as ever. How glad I am that I persisted in my search without losing hope. Now I can leave this planet without any regrets. Maybe I'll even stop and pick up some souvenirs for my wife and kids back on planet Hokotate. Yay. It also drops a ton of pellets too, so... So we'll also get some Pikmin to carry these back, just to, you know, have our numbers a little bit higher for our final tally. Shoot, do I have enough for this? I hope I do. Yeah, I do. Well, that was a hard-fought win, more than I was expecting it to be. Whew, okay. Again, that's just how this game goes sometimes, especially, again, with the change to how bomb rocks work. I find this fight harder on Wii and Switch, just because if you can get the Pikmin to manually drop the bomb, it can actually be easier than if they're just gonna drop them on their own judgment. Because sometimes the judgment of Pikmin is very terrible, as we've seen. Sometimes Pikmin make very poor life choices. So, yeah. Now, ultimately, what this came down to is just the Pikmin just did not make good calls a lot of times. And trying to swarm on a bridge is precarious. So we're gonna swarm a little bit closer. You can get like 90 Pikmin on this part. It's the most of like any ship part. And second most of treasures in the entire series. There's one thing that can handle 100 Pikmin, for obvious reasons. And that's it. I have finally recovered every ship part. Now I can return home to Hokotate. One detail I've always liked is how the bowsprit is always kind of like, a little wonky looking until it's actually fully fixed, in which it actually is finally engaged, but it will kind of like snap into position if it needs to launch from its like semi-broken state. Again, I don't know why getting a safe would help with the integrity of the ship, but it does. Just the music is really nostalgic in this scene. Also, the Pikmin try to fight for themselves, which I'm sure does not go horribly whatsoever for them. So I wish I could find a ball board with like 10 Pikmin in the actual game and win. It's like it does not work that way. This cutscene always like fascinated me as a child. It got my head thinking about so many theories. Because there are onions that don't actually exist in the series. Asterisk. At that point in the series, they didn't exist. Like, oh look, a purple onion. Oh look, a gray onion. A light blue onion, a pink onion, a light green onion. What are all these Pikmin types? Like my childhood imagination ran wild. The funny part is we have like all of them now. The only one that's missing I think is orange. So if we get an orange Pikmin type someday, we will have all of the original Pikmin colors from this ending. Albeit the light green ones don't have an onion, and the purple Pikmin don't have an onion until like 4. Because they're like underground, it's complicated. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how much, I don't know if they were intending it or not, but they end up kind of foreshadowing a few things that continue to still be kind of addressed throughout the series. It's really cool. 13 days, 715 Pikmin surviving, and 0 Pikmin lost. Again, not as good as my #1 score on Switch. But hey, nothing to sneeze at either. Again, I know I could have done a 12-day, but again, it was just taking too long. So yeah, the Nova Blaster, Space Float, Massage Machine, UV Lamp, and Secret Safe are the 5 optional parts. You will get the good ending otherwise, in which you can take off, but, you know, there's a little bit less fanfare. God, the earth looks so crisp in this. I'm used to, like, the GameCube version where it's, like, really crusty. But they did go back and actually redo a bunch of stuff. Which is nice. In general, for closing thoughts on this Fox Girls favorites, I really like this game. I know it definitely kicked my ass tonight, which was not necessarily the best experience, but again, that's just how it goes sometimes. I still really like this game. Again, this was the game that got me to like branch out into other like series and stop being so like insulated of I'm just gonna play Mario games. So this was definitely the first one, and I definitely did continue to have moments like that, but in general, this was like kind of a major leap into like uncharted territory with like a franchise that doesn't feel as familiar, even though it's still Nintendo. This was kind of my branching off point. A lot of times when I discovered franchises, it was through like story demos. Sunshine was actually a game I discovered through a story demo, as was Paper Mario 1. I don't know how to handle Paper Mario 1 because technically that would count for the series, but it would actually be out of order from Thousand Year Door and Super, because I actually played it in like 2009. I still think this game holds up pretty well. Switch version is pretty decent, I'd say. Again, the higher res like user interface and everything is really nice. Quality of life, a lot of the bug fixes are really nice. In general, it's like definitely the best version. Again, if this ever gets added to NSO, I'd be really interested, just because, again, the GameCube version is so glitchy, or buggy if you want to go for the pun. So yeah, it is a very different experience. I would recommend this version, even if that comes out on NSO, but I don't know if it would, because this is, again, based on like the Wii version, more so. So it does have a different game feel, a little bit, than the original. And then you go back home and nothing bad happens to Olimar. Totally nothing bad ever happens to Olimar. So this is weird. In the original GameCube and also the Wii version, this used beta footage. Like literally you could see enemy placements that are not in the final game. And like certain designs look a little bit off too, but like this is basically the same cutscene, just higher. Like they re-recorded similar scenes with the actual like final build of the game, which is something I'm kind of mixed on, because on one hand this looks a lot better, and I'm sure they couldn't upscale the GameCube beta footage very well, so re-recording it was the best option instead of just having it like really like 480p on the screen. But I do kind of miss having the beta footage, because it's like very charming to see like unused footage for a game like that. Like the Candy Pop Bud one I think is in a totally different spot, like where you can't even find them in the main game. Maybe in challenge mode though. I don't know if we even saw dwarf ball bears because they spawn in later on, so that's also weird how like certain enemies like you might not even run into. Yeah, the other ball, like dwarf bulborb and variations thereof are actually bread bugs in disguise. I want to say Pikmin 4 delves into that, maybe 3. Yeah, I always like the one for Emperor Bulblax because he's like really off-center in the original, and this is, you know, a little bit more intimidating actually. Yeah, just like the ground textures are very high-res in a way that's kind of throwing me off, not gonna lie. But again, I still have very fond memories of playing this game over and over and over again. Again, my first playthrough of this game, I definitely got the bad ending. I did bad on my first time. I think I had a Pikmin extinction at one point. And I definitely got the bad ending on my first playthrough, which is interesting because Olimar like gets turned into a Pikmin. Which is actually kind of a concept revisited for Pikmin 4 with the Leaflings. In general though, I always have a soft spot for this game and Mario Sunshine, even though they're very, like, wonky games at times. They have a lot of weird quirks to them that make them a little bit hard to go back to. Like, if I were to recommend a Pikmin game to start with, it would be 3 or 4. Probably 4, because it's kind of like a soft reboot. So you don't have to know all the lore, though knowing the lore might help with, like, callbacks. Again, it's very much a Mario Galaxy 2 situation, without going into details. Yeah, I would recommend the Pikmin games. I enjoy these a lot. They're like decent, you know, real-time strategy games. This again was my introduction to strategy games, and I didn't even know that was a genre at this time. And continue to not really play RTS games, and I still kind of don't, to be honest. I guess Civ is like the main one I still play. Even that I don't really play anymore. So yeah. That's a low camera angle, that's really interesting, because you actually can't pan the camera that low in this version. In 2 you can, but yeah, the camera's more fixed in Pikmin 1 specifically. It's really fixed in Pikmin 3. It's like kinda odd not being able to get an overhead view on Pikmin 3. So yeah, I hope this was enjoyable to watch, especially because, again, doing this deathless and committing to doing a deathless playthrough definitely makes certain things take longer and be a little less convenient. And so, like, the stream could have been a lot shorter if I'd not committed to doing a deathless run. All those resets we wouldn't have done. So, yeah. Overall, I do think, you know, other than struggling a lot on the final boss, which, I mean, it's the final boss. If we're gonna struggle, that's not a bad place to struggle on. Overall, this playthrough is pretty smooth. I'm happy with how it went for the most part. Again, minor hiccups here and there, but not too bad. And yeah, I don't know what number of game this is. It's like 7 or 8 for my series. I have like 50 games at this point that I'm kind of like going back and forth on, like, including in this series. In general, I kind of don't feel overly strongly about, like, some of the games, but they're like important games. So trying to find a balance of that is what I'm kind of struggling with a little bit. Pikmin is a game that was very formative for me and also very much a favorite of mine, so this is an easy inclusion. Some of, like, Pikmin 3 is a little bit harder because it had less of an emotional impact on me, even though I think it's the best Pikmin game, and it's one of my favorite games. Yeah, we got the happy end because we got all of the ship parts. But that basically concludes my thoughts on the original Pikmin. I hope everyone enjoyed this little, like, trip down memory lane for me. Thank you for the hydration check. But again, I went a little bit over time from what I was planning. I was expecting to end by 6, so we'll call it there. Oh, thank you for the posture check too. I need to adjust point values for all these things, but we're gonna do a raid tonight because I had someone very specific in mind. But yeah, thank you all for watching. This was a lot of fun. Next Fox Girls favorites will be Sonic, probably. Sonic 1, 2, and 3, depending on how much I can get through in a stream. That'll be next Monday, for sure. I can probably get through Sonic 1 and 2 on Monday, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles will be, like, maybe Thursday if I do commit to another Thursday stream. Again, current stream schedule is Monday for sure. I would like to have Thursday as a regular day, but that's depending on me getting to bed, not at 5 AM, which was a problem tonight. So yeah, just gonna hang on this screen for a little bit. Yep, not a bad run, all things considered. I actually haven't done challenge mode at all in this file. So yeah, game clearing, I need to figure out what I want to do for game clearing. I don't have any games chosen out yet, because I'm a very last minute person when it comes to deciding things. So yeah, thank you all for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed the stream, you can follow for notifications so when I go live. In the future, I also post updates on Blue Sky when it's working, but it actually crashed right before I went live today. Normally I just use Blue Sky for retweeting art and like memes, to be totally honest. Oh, thank you for the follow. Followers are anonymous at the moment. Why didn't the GIF play for that? Because I have a GIF set up and it did not play, and this is the second time I've had this issue. I had that issue with sub alert too. I might just need to reinitialize some of them, or like re-upload the WebM, because that is a bit of a problem actually. So yeah, I don't really know how to advertise myself, I'm realizing. I'm really bad at outros too, but where is that? Raid. We're gonna raid Star, which I'm sure everyone predicted. I don't know if we have a raid message at this point. It was a pretty low-key stream, other than like dying a bunch. There, she's just about to get started with Ace Attorney, so we're gonna hop on in. Send her all the good vibes as she embarks on this journey. I'll probably hop and call at some point. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for stopping by. And all the support as always means a lot to me, and we'll be back for more streams in the future. Yeah, and with that being said, good night everybody, take care, and yeah, I'm very bad at outros.